Good afternoon, students. Welcome to our YouTube channel. During this lockdown period, we are starting new methodology, teaching methodology, we can say. So we are using YouTube channel for that. So please go through these links and have this lecture. Today we are just starting the first chapter with all the basics we have covered already in 11th standard. So again we will have a look over there. So first chapter is rotational dynamics. So as the chapter says rotational, so of course there is a motion, right? So that motion we have to first consider whatever the different types of motion are there. Okay. So if you go through it, so there is first one is a rotational motion and second one is circular motion. So if you take the example directly so that you can have the definition and all. If we take the example like Earth spins about its own axis. Let's say Earth is moving about its own axis. This is nothing but the rotational motion, we can say. Now what about circular motion? Circular motion can be again have the example of Earth, but Earth will revolve around the Sun total. Or we can say it is related with the one point. If we say it is revolving around another body. Let's say we are considering ceiling fan, let's say. So if ceiling fan is taken, it will be the example of rotational motion. Okay. If we consider only one point on that fan, or we can say one spot, that will be form a circular motion. These are the example we can say ceiling fan. Total ceiling fan, total body is considered here, and here there is a point on that ceiling fan. This is just a difference actually. And after that there is again some relations are there in a translation motion and circular motion. If you look this part as a translation motion and circular motion, suppose I am walking on this road, let's say. This can be the translation motion, and if I am taking the round here, circular round we can say, so it will be the circular motion. So again there are few parameters we can consider over there. For example, first parameter is nothing but the displacement. Normally it is denoted by x or we can say s. Small change in displacement will be dx and or ds. We can have different notation in different books. If we consider circular motion, of course there will be again angular displacement. It is denoted by theta, or if small change is there, it will be d theta. So again we have velocity. Velocity is denoted by v, or we know the definition basic. It is nothing but the rate of change of displacement with respect to time. So it is nothing but dx upon dt. It is vector quantity, so we can write as a vector bar over there. In the case of circular motion, again the velocity is there, but name can be given as a angular velocity. The notation for angular velocity is omega. Again it is vector quantity. So formula is same, displacement upon time. But which displacement? Angular displacement. So it will be angular displacement upon time. So next one is linear acceleration. Linear acceleration is what? It is the rate of change of velocity with respect to time again. So it is denoted by, let's say, a bar. Again it is vector quantity, so I have written bar over there. It is nothing but dv bar upon dt. Similarly over there, instead of linear I can write angular acceleration. Its notation is alpha. It will be d omega bar upon dt. Now this velocity v and omega is also having some relation. We can write it as a v is equal to r omega. V linear velocity, r is nothing but radius vector here. Omega is angular velocity. This is the magnitude form actually. We have not considered any direction over here. If you want the direction also, the formula can be written as V cap directly. V bar is equal to omega bar cross R bar. This is nothing but a cross product of both the things. Similarly, V is equal to omega bar into R bar. There is another one formula, that is with respect to linear acceleration and angular acceleration, right? So this is all about translation and circular motion. Now we have another one point, that is the right hand thumb rule. Students, listen. In this chapter, total motion is considered in the whole we can say this lesson, and again few numericals are also I am going to take in further lecture. So during this only I am covering the theoretical part, whatever we are having. So again, when there is a right hand thumb rule, of course this right hand thumb rule is made to understand the direction. That's it. How? Let's see. If I am stretching this my thumb extremely at the upper side, we can say suppose, and I am having the curved fingers here. So the curved fingers is having the rotation of angular, or we can say anti-clockwise, and this stretch is nothing but the axis of rotation. Let's say this one. So my curved fingers are anti-clockwise. So I have written drawn anti-clockwise direction. But what is this direction? This direction is for this angular velocity. If my thumb is at the upper side, stretching outward, then only it will be. And again, angular acceleration, it is having also same the direction, anti-clockwise. What if I am stretching this thumb downward? Of course, the direction will be changed. Which direction? Angular velocity and angular acceleration direction. So here is the example. Now my curved fingers will be having clockwise direction. Okay, here it is anti-clockwise direction. Here it is clockwise direction. So if you are having any question in MCQ, in CET, NEET, you can have. That time they will ask you the right hand thumb rules objective, or what does it mean. At that time we can say it is showing the direction of velocity. That's it. Again, basic formula, omega is equal to 2 pi angular velocity. Instead of n is nothing but the frequency. Okay. Instead of frequency we can also write 1 upon t. So formula will be 2 pi upon t. Okay, this is all about right hand thumb rule. Again, motion, there will be again uniform circular motion. Uniform circular motion. Name itself uniform. Uniform means a constant, same. For example, if I am rotating one body, let's say, I will draw here. Let's say this is circular body. One body, let's say, moving in this direction, anti-clockwise. Of course, it will have some velocity, tangential velocity. It will have something. So this velocity will be constant. Let's say at this point there will be again velocity. At this point there will be this velocity. At this point. If this velocity is constant, then only it will perform uniform circular motion. Because if we increase the velocity, let's say at this point I am increasing the velocity, I am changing, right? So it will jump directly to this point. Again I am increasing velocity, it will jump to this. It will not form a circle shape. Okay, so that I am telling you, uniform means velocity is a constant. And of course there is non-uniform circular motion, means velocity is not constant, it is changing continuously. There will be elliptical shape, we can say, or different velocity values, magnitude will be there. Again, one thing is there in uniform circular motion, its direction is getting changed every time. If the direction is not changed, if direction is same, so of course it will not form a circular shape. It will just go move ahead, right? So velocity change, velocity is having constant, and its direction is changing. And last one point, students. You already know that point, but still I am taking a revision. Okay, CPF. CPF is for centripetal force. Centripetal force. And CFF is nothing but centrifugal force. Okay. So we know that if a body is moving, right? Suppose car is there, this car. Suppose it is having circular motion, let's say. So of course there is application of two forces. One force will be going outside, and another one force will be at inside. So outward force is nothing but the centrifugal force, CFF, and inward will be centripetal force. We know that कि बाबा CFF, centrifugal force, is nothing but, if I am writing FC for the centrifugal force, it is nothing but mv square upon r. In terms of omega, if I am writing it, it will be mr omega square. So what about this CPF or centripetal force? The formula will be same, mv square upon r and mr omega square, but the difference is it will have negative sign, as this force is moving inward. Along what? Along the radius vector drawn from that body and the center of that circle or circular motion. So what are the applications? Students, we know that if we are having suddenly, if we are driving a car and we are having sudden turn at any road, at that time we assume some external force. We tends to have the external force, but we will not get skid of that, or we will not fall into another place, right? So at that time there is another one force is acting, that is centripetal force. So it get balanced and our car will be at steady position, or we will not get move at any side. Okay. So in further lecture I will take the example numerical base also, and another there is a application of these forces, means whatever we have learned CPF and CFF, what the applications we will face in our day-to-day life. That three applications we will see on next lecture. So now you have to write these things in your notebook with the definition. You have already PDF file of our textbook. So in that you should write rotational motion, circular motion, some definitions, some examples, and try to understand the things. If you get these things, of course, nobody can stop you. And if you are having doubt, you can just mention me. I will take the again revision of that, no issue. Okay. So thank you, students. We will stop here.